All right, today we're going to show you how to make a standard cattleman crown fit better on your head and maybe talk you through a few ways to maybe decide what's best for you. So a lot of stock hats will come with this cattleman. Those are those large side vents, a normal crease down the middle. That fits some people and some people it doesn't. So often you can change this, in minor ways that don't change the overall look but fit better. First of all, before you do anything like that, decide how well it fits. If you're just doing it for a look purpose, that's fine. Just don't go too crazy if you're doing it like that. But if this fits too tight on your head, obviously you'll need to bring things out. If you feel like it's not fitting well enough, maybe you might need to bring stuff down. Typically, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but if you feel like it's always pressing down on your ears and it never touches the top of your head, maybe you should address that. So I'm going to show you the first thing that I would recommend doing that is very low maintenance and anyone can do at home. So first is the cutter bump, which I'm going to heat this up and show you what that is. So just right in the middle of that side vent, I'm just going to add some heat. Try not to do too much because this isn't going to take too much. The nicer your hat, the more heat you're going to need. Just keep that in mind. So here's the cutter bump. I'm just going to stick my finger on the inside and push this out until it makes a bump. Now these two fingers, I'm just going to hold in the vent so the whole thing doesn't punch out. Okay? So I'm just going to do that. Hold it till it cools and then go to the other side. The tricky part here is trying to make sure these two are symmetrical. It's not going to ruin the hat if they're not, but it sure will look better if they are symmetrical. So heating the same spot, try to stick my finger inside again, hold with my other two fingers, wait for it to cool. Often, this will fix a lot of those uncomfortability issues in your hat. Okay, the next thing that you can do, if that's still not working, is a modified punch out. So it's just taking this same cutter bump and taking it all the way to the top. So same heat. Now I'm just going to take that all the way up. And on this one, I try to take my two fingers and pinch nice and slowly so that these arcs are nice and symmetrical. This hat has been shaped 1,000 times, so it's not going to look super great, but you can see the difference here. Okay, and there. There's so much more room. When you put this down, now your head can come clear up to here. So I'll just make this symmetrical, and then we'll go on to another augmentation that you can do. Any of these work. If it's a style reason why you want it, that's great. If it's a fit reason, then that's also great, and you just have to decide. So I just made those two symmetrical. They look great. Then you can go on one step further and to punch out this middle. Now, once again, I like to be pretty conservative. The first time I do it, I don't try to take it all the way out, just like I did with the cutter bump. So I'll show you that. Just going to put my thumb inside there and try to lift that. As you can see, this hat's had this done before, so it's trying to punch all the way out. So without going to heat, I'm going to go ahead and punch this. This is called a full punch out. That's what you want to rock. That's great. It's certainly much taller of a profile, but that gives you a lot of room. So on a stock, a stockman, or not a stockman, a cattleman stock crown, this is kind of what you can do to alter it. If you want to go, even more than that, you can try to change the profile of this crown. I'm just going to show you that and then show you some of your limitations. So what I'm going to try to do is make basically a minute crown out of this. The problem is, especially with these straw hats, they are often pressed into that position, and so you'll actually have a crease that when I pull, so I'm going to pull this vent smaller with my hands, so it basically makes a smaller vent. You can see the shadow of the old one there. If that's a look that you're okay with, that's fine. Personally, I don't like to do that. I like to order my hats open crown, so I can start with a minute, and if I ever want to take it down, I can, and I don't have any of those problems. So I just took my hand on the inside of this hat, pulled like this till I made a smaller vent. This in effect will do very similar thing to a cutter bump. So if that's a look that you're going for, you can do that. But those are just a few ways to make a hat that is fitting too low on your head fit better by bringing it up. Let's say your hat is now, for you, fitting too high and you want to bring it down. There's a couple ways to do that. One would be to extend your vents lower. That's super easy to do. You just heat this section, bring it down lower. Another thing you can do as well is lower the middle crease. So same idea. You'll definitely want to put a good bit of heat on the front and the back, because that's kind of the bridge that's holding that section. So instead of putting a bunch here, you want to put it here and there. So I'll put some heat there. You can bring it down with two thumbs at that point and get that hat fitting lower onto your head. I find for the most part, people are having hats that are fitting too low. And so we have to bring them up, and that's where you put all of those different augmentations in there. But that's kind of the process I use to make a hat that is not fitting properly on your head fit better. So if you like this video and want to see more videos just like this, please like and subscribe to the Start with Cowboy channel.